it was just a nice quiet night.
But that was about to change. Pete White was up working late Tuesday night when
got up to get a glass of water at the kitchen sink and looked out the blinds and the whole house was on fire.
The home of his neighbors, Richard and Denise Klein, was on fire. After calling 911, Pete sprung into action.
Well, the fire was on the north end of the house. It was up in flames. The truck was in flames. So I came around the south side. I knew the bedrooms were on this side of the house. The big door was locked. And so I started pounding on it, and I was looking for something to, how do you get through the window? But then I saw the light come on in the bedroom, and the whole time I was just screaming their names, just screaming as loud as I could.
The Kleins were awake, but the thick smoke billowed through the home, and only Denise came to the sliding glass door. Richard went the other direction. She credits White with saving her husband's life.
If you hadn't come, we'd have lost Rick, because he definitely was disoriented. He was going the wrong way. I knew I had to get to the patio door and get it open so we could get out.
The smoke just came billowing out. The smoke was horrible. And so I went in, but didn't take a breath before I went in, and made it about 3 steps and had to come back out. Because it was the smoke. It's like breathing liquid acid. It's unbelievable. But she was on her knees coughing, and I asked her if Richard was inside, and she said yeah. So I started yelling his name, and I heard him yell, and I kind of know the layout of the house because we're neighbors and I've been in there before. So it sounded like he was in the kitchen area, and so. I just took a couple deep breaths and got on my hands and knees and then just went back in. Well, I kept crawling and I kept yelling his name, and he didn't say anything because in the smoke, how he could even make a noise with that smoke as long as he'd been in there, I don't know. It's horrible. You can't breathe. But I just kept yelling, and he did make out another sound, so I knew he was still straight in front of me, which was good because I had a path. You couldn't see anything. It was black as a cave. And so I just kept crawling, and eventually I felt his hand. We were both on the floor, and he was, I think, by the sink in the kitchen at the other end. And so I grabbed him by his left shoulder, and I said, come on, we've got to go. I did a 180 and was hoping we were going the right way, because to get turned around in there would be real easy because you couldn't see a thing, not a thing.
Pete was glad he was able to see something earlier that night when he looked out his window across the street to his neighbor's home. And the Kleins are equally glad. For the Voice of Alexandria, I'm Joe Krakowski.